Hey, how's it going, everyone? How's it going, Tavon? How you been? I've a couple days back, I asked people what to draw and ended up getting a decent amount of suggestions. And I thought today I'd draw a character or the main character from the Ranking of Kings. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend it so far. It's been pretty good. Or I think it's called Ranking of Kings, not The Ranking of Kings. So there's that. But I think it's dope. Give me a short second. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I wonder, have you guys seen it yet? You have. Do you like it? I think the main character is a pretty interesting character as far as like I guess having to navigate the world with what he's going through and like his disposition and everything like that. I did a few sketches that I'll be referring to based off of something I saw in the intro that I thought, you know what, that'd be pretty cool to draw. I'm gonna do it on this really small square. Oh, it's called Ranking of Kings. Has a really cute style, I'd say. I think that'd be pretty cool right there. Make sure. Oh, you never heard of it? Well, it's actually new, so that makes sense. It's not like some super action-packed thing like Kimetsu no Yaiba or I guess Tokyo Revengers or something like that. But it's starring like a little kid and like it. I, for me, from the episodes that I got to see, Ranking of Kings feels similar to something like it has a cute art style, but there's some darker tones in it as well. So it's a little bit of a like a flip on its head of what you would expect type thing. Um, yeah, it's kind of like if you've ever seen Astro Boy, like not like really Astro Boy. Look at that, the comic. Start seeing the type of topics that they bring to the forefront in that story. Feels like a kid story that delves harder into more adult things, but it's not a kid story basically. It just looks like one, right? Because of that cute art style. Or simplistic art style. Definitely give it a shot if you haven't seen it though. Yeah. This like I said, this pose or this positioning composition, yeah, that this composition is definitely inspired by what I saw in like kind of like the intro. So I thought it fit perfectly for that what I wanted to kind of get across. So I think it's good to use something like that. I often wonder why, when I was a kid, or I guess even now, I seem to just enjoy darker anime. Maybe it was growing up in the 90s and then the stuff that came out from Japan as far as anime that we got to check out was things that seemed to happen at nighttime or something. Like, that's what it felt like for me anyway. A lot of things seem to happen at night. I always liked that for some reason. Like they were experimenting with nighttime scenes more, or a lot anyway. I think I was exposed to like Ninja Scroll early, and after that, I think I was just. It just seemed like the era of Ninja Scroll and Akira and Ghost in the Shell. If I say anything like, not just subject matter, but like, I would say the imagery, a lot of it seemed to happen at nighttime, in those stories. Nighttime is this interesting time where things are a little bit more skewed, I would assume. Things are a little bit more hidden. Because of that, things are a little bit more interesting to me, I guess. So I always deviate to, I guess, anime that not only take place in the dark, but even if they are like not in the dark, but more so like darker anime, like well executed darker shonen type anime is like some of the best for me. It's just hard to predict and more true to life. I think that's definitely a big aspect to it. I just now realize space literally is similar to that whole type of thing because you go on a planet and obviously that planet has sunlight or maybe an artificial lighting source, but in space things can look so dark. You're away from a really big like light source like a sun or something like that. So I guess that's another reason why I like space drama type stuff as well. Bebop being probably my favorite one when I think about it. Like it's probably my favorite one when it comes to that type of aspect. Hmm. I love a bad ending, like Dante's Inferno. Did you watch that one? It was from same people who made the Dead Space movies. Um, I saw the Dead Space. I actually don't remember it, but I would say I saw some part of the Dead Space anime joint that came out. I saw the Dante's Inferno one. I had a lot of fun. I liked a lot of different parts on there. But honestly, right now I cannot recall exactly like what their names were or anything like that for like each individual part, which I usually can do. But like I guess I don't remember it as much. But yeah, I remember liking it a lot. There was certain styles on there which is really cool. But yeah, like I don't know. I like a certain level of variety as well. But like it's just interesting. Um, Yeah, I was talking about probably some time ago how I really like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Has some really dope shots in there. Actually feels like some sort of fully realized uh well, I don't even wanna no, it's Vampire Hunter D, yes, it's about vampires. I was like, I don't want to spoil it, but it it feels like in a way there's a lot there and in the short time that it is for a movie, there's a lot there that gives you enough of the lore, like, oh, like vampires like this in this universe, and there's this and that, and here's these other individuals who are living in this universe, and here's how they operate. Feels like it has just enough. Mm, really, I don't know. I guess the true to life aspect of things is dope, always. Though I do enjoy more fanciful things, I do think that the best fanciful things always come back to some form of life, some way, shape, or form. All right, his shoes are like. Is that showing up well? Okay, it is cool. I think I made his head a little bit too big in the sketch here, so I'm gonna shorten it. Like I don't know. It's like I like me some good fight scenes and stuff like that. I also like variety. I don't like things to just be dark. Daytime scenes are dope too. I would like for a story to be able to do like really like just nice feeling moments, I guess, between two characters and whatnot. It doesn't have to be always dark, but I think that even now, I guess because of like cartoons, right? Like cartoons, American cartoons, for the most part, you know, for the most part, they still happen mostly in the daytime. And I mean, as far as like if something's going down and it's going to end up bad, there's not enough that have done like experimentation. I guess for me, like when I was looking at it, a lot of cartoons still made for kids, and things are still happening in the daytime, and it's still, it's very readable, But when you get into like certain stories and you want to do something where I just think things pop more at night, I guess. It's like, yo, you do something in the daytime and you like hit someone's mask off or something like that, right? And if you see their face, like in the daytime, like the only way you're not seeing their face is if they're literally above you and like the sun's behind their head and it's just shrouding their face in mystery, right? But at nighttime, even if you break a mask off, they could still be hidden in shadow. It doesn't matter. All you did was break that mask. They could still be away from any sort of artificial light source. They could literally throw something at the artificial light source and break it and then go right into the darkness even after you've broken their mask and then disappear into the night. It's I think that's just cool. Let's do Boji's head. It's interesting here. Let's see. I think I'll make it a little bit like this. Oh yeah. Have you guys ever seen Magnetic Rose? Guess I'm an Otomo fan through and through, regardless. I mean, something about some of those works. I'm a big fan of Otomo, Satoshi Kon, um, Kawajiri. Like, I really dig some of the things that those guys have worked on. Also, Koji Morimoto. Definitely Koji Morimoto. He also doesn't need to go as dark. He can like just do some really dope stuff regardless. I think my favorite like anime staff was like everything Madhouse did up until like I guess up until the end of the Red Line era, which is 2009, I think. And Koike is also one of my favorites. I love the Animatrix, and I know that Madhouse and 4C ended up working together on some projects here and there, but yeah. Um Madhouse and 4C are like my two favorites, and man, if they could have combined into one studio at any point, I'd have been like, that's the best studio, man. Like that's the best studio. Of course I'm biased, but a lot of the things that I've watched and enjoyed when I was younger were from Madhouse or 4C. A lot of people love Bones, and Bones has worked on numerous amounts of amazing shonen shows and things of that nature. They worked on like obviously Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which are top tier. And they also worked on what's the name of that joint with geez, Soul Eater. I love Soul Eater. It's like opening and stuff like that. Those are always fun to like check through. But yeah, like I still think that the look of most Madhouse shows just so cool. And they knew like they couldn't make it move as fluidly all the time, I would say. It would take a lot of skill, but they knew where to put the budget when it mattered. The original Full Metal Alchemist anime pales in comparison to Brotherhood. It does, but the funny part about the original Full Metal Alchemist, and see, you can't really catch people in it, but this is what I am sure of, and I assume at the same time, but I'm sure of it. The original Full Metal Alchemist did a better job with the backstory aspect that they added into Full Metal Alchemist of the homunculi. So much so that when people remember Full Metal Alchemist, that's something that's added in there extra. It's in the back of their head, but they don't realize that without like it's not Brotherhood who that did that. It's the original, but they're adding it in there, going like, "Oh, that's this thing's perfect. It's the best. And it's like it is great. It's really good, but the stuff they did in the original adds to that greatness just because it shares the same name, same studio, like the same team. It almost combines into one thing, and people just call it Brotherhood. And it's like, nah, like people remember Brotherhood, in my opinion. Like if they watch the original at all, they also like remember the great parts of the original and add it into the Brotherhood stuff. They might not even notice they're doing it, but it's like, yo, the backstory stuff with the homunculus made them way more interesting as characters. Scar's story was way better. Oh, word. Yeah, Scar is always gonna be a fan favorite character. I love what they did with Scar and Brotherhood as far as like essentially what they did with his brother's arm and kind of how they like got him to the end of his story. I like that a lot. Dang, what the heck does this man's eyes look like? An owl becoming the stone was so far out. Where thanks man. Yeah man, just it's just interesting. It's just interesting, man. Ah, so his eyes are like that. Okay. It's like I don't know, it's like it's weird. I just I just like certain things and just like when I really like recollect my mind over it, I'm just like, yo, why did all my favorite anime have these really dope, amazing like nighttime scenes? Kira, Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, shoot, Vampire Honeydee Bloodlust, uh uh Blood the Last Vampire. I do not care for the rest of the Blood series that they made that into. Uh what's his name? Katsuya Terada's art style on Saya. So good. Katsuya Terada's art style on that whole movie looks great. Because people didn't draw characters like that. And when they stopped adapting his style, I was just like, wow, that sucks. Like, not that it sucked completely, right? But let's just say the whole tone changed. They were trying to make Saya they were doing this backstory of Saya, she used to be an average, schoolgirl in Japan, and she eventually, would wander into this world where she's part of this thing. I'm like, that's cool, but why did you change the tone so much? And it just, I get it. Bloodlust Vampire feels like it's literally the end of that story, but but that story didn't feel so anime. It wasn't so flashy. It was kind of grounded. It wasn't like energy beams type anime. It was literally I'm gonna have to run up to you and like stab you in the night. Like it would have to run up to you and stab you with this sword type thing. But yeah, it'd be like that. I actually think that. Wait, can you actually stand up like that? Let me see this thing real quick. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna have to change that a little bit. Okay. Cool. Alright, now I'm gonna try and place some clouds or something in there. Didn't do such a great job with the sketch, but I'll try. Hey, how's it going, Ritish? Yeah, Ranking of Kings. Yeah, yeah. It's the guy. Main character. I believe his name is Boji. He's a he's a dope character, in my opinion. Alright. Got kind of like a decent setup here. Let me like darker. It's gonna be darkest thing here in front, and everything here is gonna fade to the back. Cool. Gonna spin this a little bit now. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet or anything. I know it's still coming out, but like I'm like, yo, this little dude is pretty cool. Okay. He also has. There we go. Anything else I'm missing? Nope. I think for the most part I got the line work the way I need it. Nice. Actually, don't know what this is writing like. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, how have you been, Ritesh? How you been? Hmm. See here. Hmm. Hope I'm doing the character some justice. I think so. All these round lines. I think one of my favorite animes is also Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex. It's just written very well. I like so many animes that star, I would say, adults, that it becomes difficult for me to remember that, like, the anime that I like that star, like, essentially kids or teenagers. It's interesting. Hmm. Bro, you gotta see the new CG Ghost in the Shell. Ah, takes cyber brain hacking to a whole new level. Alright, first I have to test you, Savon. I have to test you with that one. Have you seen Ghost in the Shell, the movie? And, well, movie one, movie two, and also have you seen Standalone Complex? There's a reason why. And, yeah. Um, it's mainly just because, like, man, I don't know, man. See, it is kind of interesting. Well, actually, no, that makes sense. Most things are kind of just made as products of their time. So it kind of lived through that era where everyone was just so mesmerized by the computer and all the things it could possibly mean for the future. And a lot of things came out that kind of mess around with, stories dealing with the computer technology and digital and all that good stuff. I only saw that one when Bato and the human guy get hacked by that funhouse guy. Yeah, I don't even. Oh, you only seen Innocence then. Man, Innocence is great too, but a lot of people don't realize how great Innocence actually is. That might be something you might want to rewatch. But man, look, the stuff that happens in Standalone Complex is just so good. But I'm interested though. It's Ghost in the Shell. I like Ghost in the Shell. I'm gonna check it out anyway. Like I'm going to. Um, yeah, I'm going to. It's just like, man, Ghost in the Shell when it hits, it just hits different. All right, got some of the stuff in there. Think I'm gonna try and new stuff is like cold. That makes will be on zero. Hmm. Ah. What's it called? It's just called Ghost in the Shell, isn't it? It's on like Netflix or something. This one guy was punching people so hard, and my arm exploded. What the? Oh man. Look, it could be good, man. I'm gonna check it out. I like Ghost in the Shell. I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell like the live action movie yet, because I just didn't wanna yet type thing. But man, I'll check it out just because it's Ghost in the Shell. Human arms? Oh, snap. Jeez. This man Boji. His eyes is essentially black. So I have to take that into consideration. So are the shoes here. So I'll have to make sure I'm careful there. I'm gonna have to try and get this correctly. Looks about right. Alright. I also know that I'll really like artsy, like more artsy experimental type anime as well. I don't go and seek them though. It's just something I'll run into and go, oh, I like what they did there. Tech on Concrete has some scenes like that in it. I really like that. Even like I don't think it's particularly plot sound movie or anything like that, but it has some entertaining and interesting shots. X the movie. That's an interesting looking film. There's like this dude who he like suplexes this dude off the top of a building. It's like this is crazy. He's just like, yep, we're gonna die together, man. And yeah. And he just suplexes him off the top of a freaking building, and he just has to hold that L because it just works out in the end that way. Gonna have to buy some more of these pins soon. They go kind of quickly. Hey, I got Tavon, I got a question. The guy who exploded his arms, uh, did he die after exploding his arms? I just gotta know. Gotta know, man. Actually, let me stop wasting the ink in this and use this fresh pen here. You know the crazy thing? Oh, he didn't die. Come on, man. He went and got combat. Come on, man. What? Okay. Jeez. What was I gonna say? I don't even remember anymore. How did he live through that? His arms exploded. There's no way you're living through that. And I get it, anime. And I also get it, like TV for younger people, but come on, man. See, I like the stories where they die, like that. Like if you do something like that, it's memorable. It's a memorable way to die. Like like there was some short that I was watching. It was a Kawajiri short, and it was like, okay, this person has like telekinetic power. Oh, I think there's two of them at this point. But basically, there was this dude who's driving a car. I think it's called Running Man, right? This dude is driving a car, and he wants to be like the best, right? He wants to be like the best racer. He wants to come in first, and it's just short. You can find it, like. But here's my take, right? Because there's not really any like many words at all in the short. And he's driving this car, and as he's driving the car, you start realizing, oh snap, this guy has telekinetic powers because everybody he comes close to when he's driving, something malfunctions with their car, and he looks like he's doing it essentially. But man, this is the amazing part. I'm not even gonna spoil, but this is the amazing part where he's using his ability, and essentially it looks like it's just destroying him, and it's just like, look, that's a visceral scene. I'm cool with that. That guy should not live. Like, if you're using an ability that powerful, I like it when an ability that's powerful has such a harsh setback like that. Like, yo, I have this crazy ability, but I'll die if I use it. And it won't just be, yo, my heart's gonna stop. It'll be the scene that you just won't forget because of how bad it is, like just how crazy like the scene is. We didn't see his arms explode though. It was just a crime scene of some poor. This is with his skull exploded. Oh my god. See, man, I don't. No, no. That's not my ghost in the show. My ghost in the show would show somebody exploding their arms, man. But I'm gonna check it out anyway. Like I said, I'm interested in more so seeing the animated version of it than the live action version of it because they haven't figured that out yet. They haven't figured that out yet. You know the crazy thing? You know the crazy thing? The Matrix is inspired, I would say, mainly by Ghost in the Shell. Like, how even the grounded feeling of their bombastic action scenes are, like, if you like feel like figure out the tone of like Ghost in the Shell, the movie itself, and you got the Kawajiri stuff, right? Like the action scenes, I believe, were inspired by Kawajiri actually, but the tone and everything, the feeling was more inspired by like Ghost in the Shell and its philosophy of what's going on with like the data and everything like that. And it's like they were able to take their inspirations and make it into something original. A lot of people have a hard time doing that, where when they have the inspirations and they put it together and they put it out, everyone can literally point to it and go, like, But I think the Matrix actually wore its inspiration on their sleeve. They literally took the data in the vertical format that was green from the Ghost in the Shell joint that's like in the title, like in the actual like Ghost in the Shell itself. And they took it and said, "Look, here's our inspiration." They just threw it in their film like big as day, like, you know. I think that's kind of crazy, but it worked out in the end. Also, they didn't get sued, so I guess that's the thing. But my favorite thing about The Matrix is not only did they do that, but after The Matrix 1, they went back and said, "Hey, you guys inspired us to do this. And now The Matrix is huge, so we're going to use some of that money and like hire you guys to like work on some shorts for like the Animatrix." That's so freaking cool. Like, it's so cool. Although I can't wait for episode 8. Episode 8 is still coming out or something? Or are you talking about this? Like, oh, you can't be talking about Ghost in the Shell. That had to have already come out. They captured a guy who could calculate trajectories and crap. So, well, he was throwing a paper airplane around his cell with one hand and having it land perfectly back into his hand. Look, I remember that scene from what was the name of that freaking thing? Suicide Squad. He was throwing this ball and catching it, and then he was actually afraid out there. He was trying to get away from the battle scene. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I forget. Oh yeah, I was saying, like a lot of us, man, like I would love to be able to do something like that, but I feel my inspirations are all really like older individuals, and I don't feel like I'd ever be like by the time my thing gets big, if it ever gets big, that's another thing, right? But it like, it's like I imagine it getting big or, things start going for it. And if I ever made some money and, had some extra, obviously I'd want to, first of all, I want to hire friends who I know are very talented individuals, that'd be dope. Second of all, if I could ever hire any of the people who inspired me, when I was younger, that'd be amazing. But I feel like most of the people who inspired me when I was growing up so much older, man. I'm like, man, I hope they'll still be alive and well to be able to just check it out. Let alone me being able to like hire them to get on it. Like, man, that'd be amazing though. That'd be crazy. We're all getting older. Here's something also kind of random, right? There, when I was younger, a friend introduced me to an anime called Shadow Skill, and this is my friend Xavier, and we haven't spoken in a while, but he's still doing well, I believe. But yeah, um, it was on VHS and everything, and I was over my friend's house and everything, and he had like come through as well, and we kind of chilled and brought over the VHS. I was like, "Yo, what's this?" So yeah, we about to watch this, usual shenanigans or whatever. And we were just sitting there watching it, and I was just like, "Yo, this anime is pretty freaking cool. Like, it's interesting." And yeah, like it stuck with me, but basically it was one of those anime that kind of didn't go very far. Had a few, OVAs and stuff that came out, and then it essentially like died down until like the next part came out. I really didn't enjoy the next part that came out. Then I started realizing just, I guess at that point, how different the version I liked was compared to this new one. And I started realizing that even when I like let's say, energy beams or super fighting, right, as we call it, right? I like a lot of my super fighting to be grounded in some sort of way. Um, that's what I like. I like it when super fighting is has some groundedness to it. The moment when people start just, I don't know, it's like the moment when people's bodies can become impervious to anything, and I'm not explaining it. It's like if you have the ability to just block anything and you also don't have to stand on the ground, I don't know if I can get as into your fight unless it took you really long time to get there, and I can just literally appreciate you growing to that level. Yeah, and also the fact that that's not their it's not the mode they're always in type thing. You can be knocked out of that and become regular again. I'm cool with like that. But like if that's you all day, if that's you all the time, I'm not really interested in the fight. If you're gonna fight and like that, I think it's kind of boring. Um, I like some groundedness. Like okay, you're a dope samurai, you can cut things, but as long as you can stay on the ground and your body can take like, obviously anime characters don't have to take what would be considered, realistic human damage, right? But when you can keep it close enough to something that feels real, I can really get with it. I can really get with it. Like if someone breaks like their leg, or something, if they're limping the rest of the fight, I'm with it. Yes. Like this is great. Sort of the Stranger was not a very big favorite movie of mine, but the scene at the end is probably my favorite cut of this dude's name. And I should always know his name because technically he's my favorite animator when it comes to fight scenes. What's his name? The guy, what's his name? The guy who made the Udapon cube was very popular. I'm gonna actually have to look it up because I'm lame. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do this. Alright, so Yutaka Nakamura. Yes, the guy, the god, if you will. This guy, very famous, and he's only 53 years old, but basically, if you guys heard the term Sakuga before, you've seen so many of his cuts. You probably just don't realize it, but those anime cuts that look beautiful, you're like, dang, anime's dope. They don't do it like that over in cartoon land. Uh, if you've seen those cuts, a lot of those cuts, definitely in the fight scene stuff, are his and his other contemporaries and things of that nature. But yeah, like I like the fight scene at the end because it had such amount of groundedness to it. Like people was jumping and spinning, but when they landed on somebody, there was a feeling of momentum and weight and stillness and sweats and motion. It was like, ooh, like this dude landed on the ground and spun and the floor and steam. It was great. It was great. And he also technically he does some great super fighting scenes as well. I do not like the super fighting scenes as much because they end up being just stylish and flashy and a lot of flexing, and it's very one-sided. It's not actual a fight going on. It's just a guy doing a combo and a guy receiving a combo, and then it's over and then it resets everything back to neutral. And I'm not. It's cool sometimes when you want to show off, but I'm not taking a fight scene seriously that's just that one-sided. I can't. It's not a real fight scene. It's a flex. Like how Vegeta's arm was broken in Android Saga, and he was back and fighting Shape next episode. Um, well, I would say Dragon Ball is a really big expression of super fighting. It's probably the number one when I think about consistent super fighting. That comes to mind for most people. So I can't really give it that, but it'd be more something like it's a good if see you haven't seen all right, so super fighting that's grounded could be like uh there's a lot of them. Tough. Where is this book? You ever seen or read Tough? Um all right. Tough, right? Boom, Tough, right? Tough is this martial arts manga, all right? It's this martial arts manga created and written by the guy who created Ricky O. Um the original One Punch Man as they call him. Who'd be turning people into hot pockets. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so it's about this guy who has this fictional, it's fake martial arts style that's the best in the world, quote unquote, right? And his father has this past that intersects with someone who's the greatest wrestler in the world, and basically the main character is, he's kind of gotten in the middle of that kind of feud, and he's fighting a lot of guys now, and as he's going forward, he's like, yo, like, nah, my fighting style is the best fighting style, like wrestlers or whatever, and that's the beginning of this journey. Essentially, it's a really bad way to describe it, but essentially what I'm trying to say is it's very grounded. Starts off, using his style, and it's very much punches, kicks, and holds, right? Like most things, striking, and it also has grapples and stuff like that. And he's fighting wrestlers who can dish out and receive a lot of damage and all that type of stuff. But it starts off pretty grounded. It eventually starts getting closer to something that looks similar to super fighting, but it's still people who are using techniques. It's still, like, oh snap, like, yo, this dude's punch is so crazy that he punched this dude's glove, and then they had to cut the glove, they had to cut the glove off of his hand, and then when they cut it off, what did they find? Oh snap, like, this is grounded super fighting, all right? It's not like, yo, he punched him so hard, and he looked back and his arm flew off, and it's like, what? Like, gee, that's not even, come on, like, this I can, all right. He punched his hand so hard, he broke the bones in his hand to the point where as though they have pierced through the skin. I, I can get with that. I can get with it. That's believable enough, to some degree, right? Martial arts, they can do stuff like that. I could believe that. I could believe it, right? It's not too crazy as someone punching their arm so hard that their arm explodes type thing, right? Like, look, he punched this dude. He almost punched this dude in the face with such great speed that he gave him a nosebleed. Like, it's the little things, it's like, yeah, I can, that's small escalation I can get with that makes things, whatchamacallit, dude snuck up on his teacher. Dude straight threw a punch through this board, right? And he's like, yo, I caught something, and he just yanks him through the board. Like, I could get with this, right? Anywho, this is early chapters. Tough has probably upwards of like 600 plus chapters. It's pretty long. It's been going for a while, and the main character has grown and become an adult and all types of stuff. So that's what I mean. Like, I like it when essentially you got super fighting as far as you got your techniques and everything like that, but it's not like to the point where as though people are just doing stuff even far beyond the superhuman level, and it's just all a flex. I think it's great when shonen does it, but at the same time, I don't need all that. I think it's cooler when you keep things grounded because it keeps everyone kind of, I don't know, like tangible in a way. Hmm. So I'm gonna erase away some of these lines here and there. Stay away from anything that I used the brush pen on, since I know that most of that stuff might still be wet. The few times they went into space with zero protection, I'm more of a, more of a, yeah, I'm more of a manga guy, and I don't think they ever did that in the manga. I'm just saying, like, I don't think they ever did that in the manga. Thank goodness, you know, again, it's Dragon Ball is the number one super fighting comic that comes to mind, in my opinion. So if they ever did something there, I'm not surprised. Like you kind of expect it, you know. And there's a bunch of inconsistencies. My two favorite Dragon Ball characters, just to put it out there, is Krillin and Bulma. Krillin had probably the most consistently devastating attack in the series. It didn't matter what level he was on, his attack was so strong that like it was very effective. It was ridiculous. Like think about the fact that Krillin, it's weird, right? Toriyama was like, yo, like the energy beams they shoot out are only as strong as their punches, essentially. Like I believe he said something like that. So the energy that they shot out was a technique, but it still would only hit as hard as a punch or a kick that they would do. But that's funny because Krillin's technique was so busted that he was he could have killed Nappa with it. He probably could have killed Vegeta with it. Because Vegeta was like, yo, get out of the way of that thing. And he's like, why? It's like, bro, just get out the way. And that joint just started slicing through everything. Uh, I don't know. And then it even cut through Frieza at the end of the day, you know? It's like Krillin's technique is great. And I think Goku and everybody learning Kamehameha was cool. But man, more people should have, or Krillin should have done more with his own technique, something. But yeah, and Bulma, without Bulma, they weren't doing nothing. They weren't going on no adventure. They weren't, they weren't doing anything. Vegeta doesn't even get the story joint. He don't get a lot of the gags in the beginning, even though those are slightly well, they're problematic. And yeah, you don't get much without Bulma. All the inventions, the Dragon Radar, like you don't get it. Even going to Namek, you couldn't do that. I remember someone eating a Destructo disc. Was it Cell? Don't remember. Cell must be busted if he eating Destructo disc though. Not surprising, but at the same time, Krillin's Destructo Disc, man, consistently a devastating attack. The only one I feel like really understood how to defeat like the Z fighters was Dr. Gero, and obviously he succeeded in some way, shape, or form. Sorry, I'm taking a little longer with this. I'm actually going to color this. Now, will I color it on stream today or not? I don't know, but I think I want to. Kind of setting it up to be able to be colored. But yeah, I think that's why I just something was off with the. Oh, thanks, man. I just, I'm always drawn, always trying. But yeah, like I remember checking out the later like what's the name of Shadow Skill joint that they made. I love the OVA. I think both movies are decent, but I like the movie where Gao is a little bit more older, not the one where he's like really young. The art style is interesting though. It has a lot of dark shadows and stuff like that, and more characters also. But I like the one where it starts off with him and his sister are going on this adventure type thing, it seems, but they're really going to go see his parents' grave. And then you get the whole backstory and everything, and you get the whole dilemma he's having. And I think that they set up that movie perfectly because it's not often you get a movie where the villain there's no real villain in this movie at the end. There's no end fight that's a villain. The end fight is a sibling fight between a brother and a sister on a respect level. I love that so much. And whoever directed the end fight scene, I have been looking for this person for so long. Like I've been trying to find him. I've been looking it up. Like I'm like, yo, who worked on this? Like it's like, oh, there's this production house it's under, and can't really find the people's names. I don't know who did what. And I'm like, yo, who directed the scene of Gal versus Ella? Shadow Skill, Tony. Shadow Skill, the movie. Who directed this freaking scene? I know Sakuga Boru and all of that exists, and it's not there by the way. I know Sakuga Boru and all that exists, and but it's like new. A lot of the newer anime are getting good credits out there, so you know who worked on what. But the older ones, so hard to find out who worked on that stuff. And I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm missing something. Cause I'm like, yo, if I could just find out what they worked on, I can just know like, okay, was that like a one hit wonder type thing? Or is there other anime out there that they worked on that I actually have already seen and I can like recognize the style finally, like, oh, cause I feel like that's where my love for this grounded fight scene stuff really comes from. I'm pretty sure Yoshinari did some stuff for Shadow Skill, and I'd guess the director of Gao Kaiser. I think you showed me the Gao Kaiser stuff, and I saw. Yeah, I remember that. Actually, I'm about to type that in real quick. That way I can look at it after the stream. Cause I remember you were showing me some of that, and it had like the Birdie the Mighty type feeling to it, right? Like that type of groundedness, but also with the super fighting stuff. Like, yeah, Gao Kaiser. But yeah, like, man, like, I remember seeing that fight scene, and just watching it going, yo, this really was made back in the day. Like this level of a fight scene existed in this type of thing. My mind was blown, bro. They literally start the fight off. They stand there. They do the little joint, the little ritual joint. Then Gao backs up, and as he backs up, he starts to go. He starts to run in like a little circle, and the L is watching him, and she's like slowly turning to like see where he's going. And then he starts to run forward and start fainting back and forth. Oh my god. It's so good. Also, Shadow Skill should have just featured Capoeira. They just should have. It should have just been Capoeira. It should have just been Capoeira. It should have just been Capoeira. I just gotta throw that out there. They literally are using Shonen Capoeira. Like, they should have just used it. They should have just used Capoeira. It would have made more sense. But then the reason, so jumping over to the newer one that came out, the series, I didn't like it because it felt like it started jumping harder into the super fighting instead of the groundedness of the fighting. People just started doing whatever, I'm not gonna be mad at the design work of anything. The designs were fine, but the fight scenes just became crazy super. Like people was just, here's the attack, text on the screen, and a giant beam is just doing something, and you're just like, okay, we lost all the direction that the ground fighting gave us with the, like, in a ground fighting thing, you don't have to remember when Broly came out, the movie, the new one, the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie came out, and everyone loved the amount of energy that Goku was having. He was jumping and bouncing and stuff like that, He was running up, doing all this footwork, doing all this hand work and stuff like that. Like, oh snap, he's doing martial arts again. People were like, oh my god, this is great. That's what you were missing when everything just went into super fighting. It was all shoot a beam, say an attack name, yell. Like, you're missing all that stuff. When you have the grounded super fighting, you get it, and the beams and stuff. Oh man. Wait, it was directed by Hiroshi Nikishi. Okay, word. Live board of energy waves. Not right. Like, energy energy beams were cool in the beginning, and Dragon Ball made them cooler. And then after Dragon Ball made them really cool, everybody else had their go at energy beams. And I feel like we're done. Like, not completely, but there's not much more dope stuff you can do with energy beams. But if you give me like give me like 200. Oh no, give me like give me like 50 chapters. I'll do it. Give me like 50 chapters. Give me like 50 chapters. I'll 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 actually do something with beams. I'll show you. I know what we can do with beams, but I can't spoil it. But I'll show you. I'll show where we can go. I'll show you. Mm. You're enjoying the Ranking of Kings? Word. I've only checked out like somewhat 3-ish episodes and I loved it. I was like, yo, this is great. I was like first of all, this kid's dope. Second of all, how dare you make such a charming character, man? Second of all, hold up, his mom cool too? Like, I was like, yes. It's hype. Really hype. Let me see here. Let me grab a random sheet of paper so I can plan out some colors. Man, I'm still thinking about it, man. I'm just like, yo, like, let's just make the energy beam the main character. But see, it's possible to do that though, man. It's actually possible. Like Tavon, see, don't get me started, man. Like I could do it. See, but I can only do stuff like that when it actually fits the series I'm working in. So with an idea like that, I'd probably put it into a different story. But man, I can do it, dude. The plot twist feels new compared to what we consistently get. Dude, I don't even know what the plot twist is yet. I ain't even there yet. Right? Right? It's a genius idea. But it's just like, man, there's stuff you can do with it. People just not doing stuff with it. That's why I get bored looking at like, you know, how, like a lot of people. Well, I'm gonna say I say it right. Like I feel like Naruto is could have been the ultimate shonen thing, but it just kind of squandered its potential a little bit in different directions. And I get it, you know, people are gonna say, yo, you say that, but like make your own story and see if you can do it better. Word, I'm already working on it. But, you know, there's so just the ability to have shadow clones and learn to have them learn kind of like, you know, and then when they die, all the information comes back to the original. That's I could have just made everything based off of that and just went forward with Naruto. That's what I would have done more so. And you could do so much with that. You could actually world build based off of that. So much you could do just based off of that, literally. And then everything became like, you know, Dragon Ball essentially. But, you know, that's how I feel about Star Wars. Star Wars looks great. It has dope aesthetic, right? It's one of my favorite aesthetics. Um, and like when I think about what they do with the Force and what they do with the fighting style stuff, definitely in the mainline movies, it's so not that interesting. I love what they do in the extended stuff, the extended verse. But what they do in the mainline movies just kind of bore me. You already know I like my grounded stuff, so I'm gonna end up liking the Mandalorian. You know, I'm gonna like. How could I not like a bounty hunter dude who uses the technology in the universe to do whatever he wants to do? Like that's gonna be dope. Like that's awesome. Have I seen Star Wars Vision? Yes, Star Wars Vision is great. And the first one is the best one, in my opinion. It's the best one. That's the that's the best one. But I don't like what they do with the Force. I don't like what they do with the lightsabers. I think it's very interesting because when you think of a sword, right? You think of a weapon. The blade of the thing you hit something with, you know, someone with, is the thing you think of when you think of like the shape of that thing, right? But most of the time, what you think of with the lightsaber, the thing that has most of the personality to a lightsaber, it's not the color necessarily. It's not really that. It's the hilt. But you don't see the hilt when the lightsaber is out. You just see the color that the lightsaber is. But they don't do anything cool with that at all. And I just find that interesting. Have we ever seen a Sith grab a green or blue lightsaber and then bleed the crystal into red? Have we ever seen that on screen yet? Because that's supposedly what's supposed to happen. But we've like I swear we've never seen it. I swear we've why does I'm sorry, I'm making this into a whole this conversation. I'm just like, yo, why haven't we seen? I love how Trigger used the saber with hyperdrive. Ah, that was a funny take, but man, that was such a shonen Trigger thing to do. I think that was the funniest part. Like I just was sitting there like, man, they're gonna go all the way, aren't they? They really walked outside, Tony. They really walked outside on that spaceship. No spacesuit, no need to breathe. Just was like, yep, anime power. And it was talking to each other and everything. And I was like, come on, man. You can't get away with this. This can't be real. I thought it looked aesthetically pleasing, but that was not my favorite. I liked the first one because it just that's what I want Star Wars to be more so. Bro, there was a there was a Jedi or a Sith guy, or we don't know what he was. We just know he was fighting Sith people with a red lightsaber. Nobody knew whether or not he was a good guy or a bad guy, or if they just chose the wrong place and the wrong time, and he just was with, he just was with it, right? Pulls out a red lightsaber, and you thinking, oh, he's just another Sith. And he's like, no, like I collect these. It's like, what? Like, it's cool, like, but yeah, they use the Force. Amen. Sure, man. You can say that for every. So that's the funny part. You can say that for everything, but like, tell that to the mainline films. They don't know what the hell they know with the Force. That's not the first time I curse on stream, bro. They don't do it. Why did in the mainline films they use the Force like it's a NetherRealm game? Like, you know how they be fighting and then they see like a pole or something in the background and they grab it and hit you with it and they throw the pole away. That's how they use the Force, bro. They be like, we having a duel. Bow, bow, bow. They be like, oh, there's a tree stump here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it and throw it at you. Oh, you dodge that? All right, back to us having a sword fight. What? That's all we can do. That's all we can do with the Force, man. That's sad. That makes me sad, man. Well, he's just a dark fighter, similar to a great Jedi. Word. It's just, oh man, yo, like it's just crazy. Like you have the Force, you have a crystal that emits this plasma blade, or they call it a lightsaber. It's supposedly not an energy sword. Okay, word. So it's plasma then. It's like a light. It's a light beam or something. Okay, but we can't make a different shape. We can't make like a plasma. We can't make like a whip lightsaber. No, we can't do that. It just always got to be the same shape every time. And the thing that really gives this thing personality that stands out is the hilt, but you'll never see it because my hand is on the hilt when I'm using it. So the cool design joint that's on there, you'll never see it because I'm covering it. And then there's a light emitting from it, so you... Uh, uh, I just don't... Bruh, if I'm fighting somebody and they about to beat me, I'm using my lightsaber as a bomb. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. At least I'll make sure the dude don't get nobody else, bro. There's no way I'm not doing that. I'm immediately going to trigger my crystal to freaking explode, which is what is funny. That's what they say will happen if you make your lightsaber wrong. It can explode. It could kill you. All this other type of stuff. If that's possible to do that, then that means that this thing is like some sort of engine. It's like working a certain way to emit the power of the crystal. If the crystal is still intact, all I gotta do is find a way to destroy the crystal, right? If I destroy the crystal, it should ignite or something. It should explode. I'm using that. Matter of fact, in a sword fight, that's what I'll be trying to do. Like, I'm trying to use the Force on their lightsaber to trigger it into explode. There's no way I'm not doing that. There's just no way. There's no way I'm not doing that. I hate how often series warn you about bad stuff that never happens. Oh my god. It's so interesting. You think maybe they're gonna do something with that. I gotta say it. If anyone ever, if you ever learn anything or notice anything about One Piece, it's that there is something that's going to happen that someone warned you about. Like everything goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. I think it going somewhere consistently, having it mean something, makes that story so much more digestible. It's like, wait, this actually gonna mean something? It's actually gonna be something? Oh, I'm paying attention now. And then you get rewarded for paying attention consistently. Like, wow. Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong. I know Naruto has a lot of good stuff in it too, but I would also have to say Naruto is similar in that regard to uh to Star Wars. Just off the basic fact of, yo, your shadow clones can learn something, and when they die, the information comes back to you. All you got to do is be a Disney Channel fan and think about what that means. If you've ever seen any of them skits, them little shows they do with that type of ability, there's definitely been a bunch of shows. You already know what could have happened, and then you just you just think about it for a bit. Like, what was the Sharingan supposed to be able to do? Copy any and every jutsu that you could see with it, right? I'm just trying to get y'all to get to where I'm at without saying it. Just like, what could you do with that? You know, like, okay, like, okay, so that means that Naruto can do what? Like, he could literally learn anything. He could literally learn anything. I create a shadow clone. Yo, go learn something. Yo, go learn how to cook. Go learn how to cook, bro. I want you to literally go off and learn how to cook, bro. Matter of fact, don't even tell nobody. I'm not even gonna tell nobody that I did this. I'm gonna just show it a little bit, some hints that I do it. Go learn how to cook. Word. I get it, but Boruto has killed all the world building. Just hold up, look. Just I'm not even gonna go there, bro. I'm not even going up to Boruto. I'm just trying to get people to understand just how crazy it is a little bit. Just like, yo, go learn how to cook, right? Then come back, or whatever, and then boom, you get to that knowledge. Now Naruto can cook. Yo, I'm gonna go chill. I feel like there is a part of me that wants to learn science or wants to learn, I don't know, how trucks work. I don't know. Go learn how trucks work, yo. Boom, Shadow Clone Jutsu. He goes, cool. He can come back and tell me that, or if he dies. If he gets in trouble, something happens, they attack his noodle shop. I don't know, maybe he went off to go make noodles. He learned from the dude who's always making food for everybody. He's a chef now. Someone attacks the village. That guy dies. He's like, man, someone's attacking the village, and also, I now know how to make noodles. Basically, Naruto chose to be stupid. Is I don't know how else to say that. He chose to be dumb because he had the ability to learn anything. Literally. Beyond just ninja stuff. He could have literally learned anything. And at the end of the series, he only had that amount of growth. He could have been ridiculous. Add that into the fact that the Sharingan could literally copy any jutsu. That means on a fighting level, what could Sasuke end up doing? Learning how to do. He could end up learning how to do the Shadow Clone Jutsu that Naruto forbiddenly learned anyway. He could just copy it. That's how it was set up to me anyway. That's what Orochimaru was talking about. Yo, if I get this dude's eyes, I could learn all the jutsus in the world. That's what I'm saying. He could have. Naruto could have increased his literal knowledge, his literal intelligence stats. He could have just been cheating the whole time. And if Sasuke can copy the jutsu, he can then do Shadow Clone Jutsu as well. It would literally end up being, at the end of the day, a battle between a person who knows all the other jutsus versus a person who has to invent a new jutsu that's better than the rest of them. That would be so much interest. So it'll be so interesting because you're like, yo, once you as a fan know all the jutsus and you know how dope they are, then you're like, well, what's he gonna do? And then he's gonna have to literally show off to the reader what new technique he figured out that the other people don't have, which Sasuke wouldn't be able to beat unless he too also figured that out too, and also chess move figured out a different way to create another technique that only he has. It would have been so interesting. It'd have been so much more interesting in that way for me. In that way for me. But then the Great Ninja War happened. The Edo Tensei happened, and it had some good moments. Again, nothing's all bad. There's some good moments, but man, nothing's ever gonna be as bad as killing someone, giving them a really memorable, good death, and then bringing them back and giving them a worse death. That's it's crazy. Sasuke would have only lost due to inherited skills. Being an Uzumaki gives him an overabundance of chakra. For instance, Kakashi could do clones, but not as many. At the end of the day, if a lot of that stuff didn't come into play, that would have been better. I feel. I feel like there's always gonna be that though. In like definitely a lot of Japanese media, they're always gonna be like, "Yo, like your dad did this," or "Your mom did that," or something like that. And I always feel like that's cool and all, but like if you always limit someone to what their family was, then what about a person who feels like they don't have a dope lineage? What if they're growing up and they're reading the story and they feel like, yo, grandpa was booty, mom didn't want me, dad was some booty too, like everybody just, what happens when the whole family booty, you know what I'm saying? And then the story is like, nah, bro, your mom was awesome and you'll be something because your dad was amazing. And you just sitting there reading it going, dang, I don't like none of these people, and it's like, I don't compute with this character at all. And, like you're a loner, literally. I don't know. It just doesn't work for a lot of stuff in that way. It's a very Japanese look on life. How powerful is the swing that Naruto sat on when he was a why? Why what question is this? What what question is this? I don't know. I don't know how strong that swing is, man. I do not know. This is cool. I just saw that on another YouTube. Wait, jeez, how far back am I? Gotta be Eight Tails level, right? Oh my goodness. It was so strong Naruto didn't need food during those points in life. Oh my god. I just saw that on another YouTuber's post. Oh man. Look, that man Naruto was going through it. He was really eat like drinking old milk, not even being able to realize that it was old. He really put that joint up to his nose, didn't smell nothing, and just was like, "Yep, like milk for the day, let's go." Hmm. Okay. Just thinking about things. Shut up. Hmm. That looks nice. Uh-oh. My hero has been annoying me with its writing too. Oh no. Shoehorn the American top hero just to be used as the villain. As a the villain is so strong device. Oh, what do we call that again? What do we call power scaling, you know? Yeah. Look how OP the American top hero is. And like they're gonna be tough to beat, right? And then boom, it's like nope, nope. Look how broken the villain is. Yeah, yeah, you didn't see that coming. It's like okay, you're right, didn't see it coming. But isn't that what Horikoshi kind of does at this point? I hear he did that with what's her name? Get her name right now, but the girl who, geez, well, I don't know, Mirko. He did that with Mirko, and he ended up doing that. He does that. He does it pretty consistently, I would say. It's interesting. Hmm. Let's see here. So yeah. So Oh, thanks, man. Hey Tavon, have you ever seen a film called Magnetic Rose? Or anyone, shoot, like, 'cause I'm gonna just say it. Magnetic Rose is great. Definitely if you haven't seen it yet. And I do like this build up type thing. I'm okay at it, I think. Never heard of it? Dude. So listen. Magnetic Rose is it's one of three shorts that Katsuhiro Otomo, the director of Akira, kind of helped put together with multiple directors. One of them was Satoshi Kon himself and Koji Morimoto. And essentially, it's just one of the shorts called Magnetic Rose. And essentially, it's this really high quality short on like movie level back in the day, you know. And it features Yoko Kanno's music. on like some opera type stuff. Um, Yoko Kanno's very famous. She worked on Cowboy Bebop soundtrack and the Ghost in the Shell soundtrack. So it's pretty busted. So got her on there. You got Otomo. You got Satoshi Kon. You got Koji Morimoto, and a bunch of other people that are just amazing, honestly. And it's a really good short. It's a really good short. You should check it out. It won't take you that long. You could honestly probably find it on YouTube. It's honestly fantastic. It's it's some people's favorite anime type thing. It's one of their favorite pieces of animation, and I understand why. The things that they're messing around with in there is really cool. You know, it's old, but like it's old good, like good quality animation stuff, you know? If that makes any sense. But yeah, if you haven't heard of it, definitely check that out. Let's see if I can grab this. See if it works. Okay, cool. So I'll do that. Started to really love just certain type of texture and using like markers or just about anything, I guess. Computer really helps things in a way look flat, and I'm always just like, no, like I do not want flatness. It's not what I want. So I'm just like always running from that. I think it's dope. Like you can make it work for you, but for me, I'm just like, man, I kind of don't want flatness. It's not what I want. See here, what type of clothing? Right, it's blue. Uh-huh. Dude's so freaking cute. Let me see something. Type of Just found it. Does 3 minutes 45. What? 3:45 minutes. So it's not right. I'm not sure, but I think Magnetic Rose should be something like. Let me see. Let me see here. I think Magnetic Rose should be at least 7, 8 minutes at least, right? Magnetic Rose. Why did I spell it like that? So, Magnetic Rose. Why did they break it up like this? No. Hmm. Well, hmm. Trying to figure out exactly how long it is. But yeah, Magnetic Rose should be a certain amount of minutes or whatever. Let me see here. Because I swear I've seen this on YouTube, but you know how YouTube is. They eventually find it and take it down type thing. Alright, so of course they don't have that one specific short. Okay, no. Magnetic Rose running time is 44 minutes actually. Believe that or not. It's a short, but it's 44, 45 minutes actually. What's happening? What? Oh. Well, I found a link for Vimeo if you want to check it out. If you are cool with Vimeo. But yeah, like, it's dope. Alright, so now we can start working on Boji himself. Okay. Uh, what's a good skin tone for Boji? Definitely has an orange, like, a slight orange feel to him. What is this? Mellow peach? Might be good. It's a little bit too orange though. Need something a little bit less than. E11 here. That's darker. We want. Okay. Dark. Let's see. Okay, I might have to. Well, I might want to do these with some watercolor a little bit. So that could be cool. I don't know if that's in. Okay, yeah, it's cool. All right, so where's my brush? Hmm. Gonna try and. I sworn I put this somewhere in here. Oh, it's probably in this. There we go. A little bit of water left in this. See if I can get this stuff down quickly. I think something is going on. My instincts are great. Hello. A little bit. Yeah, I'm still training. Okay, good. Interesting. But the stream isn't showing up on YouTube. That's not cool. See if everyone else is cool. Word. Alright, so going to use, well, yes, this. See what this looks like. Like this a little bit too much. Of course, I don't have any readily available. Oh, there we go. Okay. Cool. It's a little bit too much water here, so. Okay. Got this guy's skin tone and everything in there. Let's keep checking. What else are we doing with this? Have another picture of him here. Right, so that's that way. So he's wearing blue here. So before I do the blue, I'm just gonna. Jeez, there's a lot of water in this top. Interesting. I'm going to use like this right here. Actually, no, not that, because that's too dark. Use this one. It's actually very light. Okay. And now we have the blue. 3. Yep. Yeah, actually, it looks like he would wear the other one more. Interesting. Alright, so let me go over here to this. I think I'm gonna start from the bottom. Actually, I feel like I don't have enough water here. Okay, like something like that. There we go. Hmm, nice. Hope you enjoy it though, Tavon. I think it's a pretty darn good film too. Alright. I think this is looking cool. I think the last thing that I have to do, well, other than just doing something with these. That could be cool. And the last thing should be like the crown until like I want to push this further, but for the most part I think that should be good enough. Alright, let's go ahead and get this done. This should be this right here, this color. I think there shouldn't be that much water in this. Hmm. Okay, I think that's pretty cool for now. Everything else, I'm just gonna like, why did I do that? Just gonna like erase and stuff like that. Erase out some of these lines and stuff. Hmm. Feel like there's enough light in here, or maybe you're zoomed in too much, but yeah, I hope you guys can see it pretty well. Hope it looks pretty cool to you guys. I think it's pretty cool. Really dig the main character. Um, Hoping that it keeps staying good. And yeah, gonna get ready to sign this and then essentially get out of here. It's almost done, so I guess I could sign it later and then just say that I did it on stream. So I think, you know, I'll do that. I did that with the S-Cried picture as well. I haven't colored that picture, but you know, have taken it to where it needs to go and then stop working on it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed checking out the stream and enjoying me work on this. Um, Hold on, let me see something here. Aha. That was supposed to be the same freaking color as the blue right there. If only I knew that. Just use this. But yeah, oh yeah, here goes the S-Cried picture joint. It's almost done drying, I think. It's kind of close right now, but yeah. Kind of was able to do something with that. I think he came out pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, alright everyone. So, if you guys are new here, please subscribe to the channel if you like the content and whatnot. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday usually. I usually work on illustrations or my own comic called The Divinity, which I publish on webtoon. It is a manga style comic, meaning it reads from right to left, and it is usually in black and white and grayscale and stuff like that. It is a action adventure comic. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check that out on webtoon. You should have a link for it in the description of the video. If it's not there, just, if you're already on webtoon, look up The Divinity. But yeah, if you like the content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back next time on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, everyone. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace, everyone.